right, baby. Let's rock and roll. Sorry for the delay. We had to get things right on the back end, but we are here and we've got an amazing show lined up for you guys tonight. If this is your first time, welcome to the channel. This is the Locker Room Show. I'm your host, Coach Terrence Wood. You already see who we got on the screen. And then many of you guys that come every week probably expecting to see the Guru. He's working to get on the show right now. So hopefully we'll have Guru here shortly for the extra comedic relief. But hey, tonight's show is special, you guys. This is something that I've been waiting to do because this gentleman deserves his flowers and so does his team. But don't want to hold back anymore. What's going on, Coach Adhir? How's it going?
I'm good. We're taking some time to reflect on the season. Obviously, been a little bit of a tough week, losing a close game in the NorCal Championship, but overall, trying to take some stock opportunity to reflect on an amazing senior class and the job the kids did this year. A little bit of mixed emotions, but it's always good when I get a chance to hang out with you, T. So, I'll appreciate the time.
Yes, indeed. And for those that don't know, I'm a Riordan alum, so this is just a show after my own heart. As soon as Coach got the job, he gave me a call. I won't forget the day because I hung up the phone, Coach, and I said, they're going to do special things with that guy. So you proved me right. He proved me right. And huge year this year, Coach, and I want to get right into it. I see some people already coming in the chat. The great Ernest from Texas saying greetings from the Munoz family. Thank you for joining us, Ernest. But let's get into it, Coach. I mean, you've been coaching for a while. This isn't your first rodeo. When do you start to recognize that you got a special team?
I'll say one of the biggest compliments I think I got this year on our team from coaches on other staffs after the games were like, they said the most impressive thing about our team was how hard they played for each other. And I think you have something special when you feel that culture starting to build to the point where you really have a brotherhood and like guys are willing to sacrifice and sell out everything, not just on game day, but in the day-to-day preparation and practice for one another. Like it really becomes about the collective. And I think the senior class really exemplifies that in how they approach the day-to-day. And like, I think that's where I think we really felt like we started to have something building as you saw it kind of progress over the summer. And then really once we got into fall camp, it's kind of like, all right, like now you're seeing that culture turning into the preparation, into the practice field. And like, we got a chance to put this thing together and be really good. And I think we've had talented teams the last 2 years. And, I've been on here before saying that last year, I feel like we kind of came up short of where our talent was. And I think a lot of that came from like us working towards that and building towards that. And I thought this year you started to see it finally kind of like turn the corner. And that really is a credit to this senior class and the work that they've done. And I think the kids like really deserve the credit for that. And that's why I'm so proud of them is like, they really put that on their back and really like lifting the brotherhood and setting a standard of culture, setting a standard of excellence in the day to day. Right. And I think like when you have that, I don't care how talented you are, like if you don't have like that piece right, like you're never going to have success. Right. And that's why you see teams that aren't super talented, but play really, really hard and play really well together and execute really consistently, have a ton of success. And likewise, you see teams with a ton of talent that maybe don't reach their potential. And so I think like this year's team was a great example of talent and culture coming together.
Wow, Coach. And I mean, as an alum, I'm just sitting back and I didn't get to get out there like I wanted to. But obviously, watching the stream and talking to other alums, there was a total buzz around the program. And was that something that you feel like you need outside forces to help with? Or is that something that a coach can conduct all on his own with his own plan?
I definitely think it's a mix, right? Like I think, you talked about like you're one of the people when I first got the job that I reached out to, and like I didn't go to Riordan, right? And so part of the thing for me was like I really wanted to understand about the school, about the culture, about like the brotherhood that had existed at Riordan for so many years, being an all boys school, and like making sure that like the pieces that made Riordan so special like we were continuing to build those things and build on top of that foundation, and making sure that the kids understood that and letting them kind of carry that legacy and move forward and build forward on it. Um and I think like it takes a collective, right? And I think to your point, right, you're talking about like the buzz and energy people outside were feeling. I think that comes from like you can't hide that. Like you come to a game and you see the kids playing on the field,
Mhm.
like you see them playing for one another, you see them representing that block R on the helmet the right
Yeah.
way. Like that builds buzz. It's not, you know, self promotion. It's not me picking up a phone call. Like I could call UT and talk about all the great things I want to do, but
Mhm.
if I don't deliver and I'm not winning games the right way, like that doesn't
It
matter, right?
fades.
I think,
Yeah.
yeah. And so I think it really is like a culmination of all that stuff coming together.
Wow. And I see we have the great guru with us. So I'm going to bring him on and add him to the stage so we can get this thing going. Guru, what's going on, baby?
I'm good. I'm good, man. It's the holiday season, so I'm good.
Yes, indeed. Well,
Coach,
hey,
good to see you, man. Good to see you. Oh, let me adjust my volume here. Y'all can hear me
we
all
can
right?
hear you.
Okay.
We
All right.
got you.
Good, good, good. Okay.
Gotcha.
Good, good.
All right, you guys. So, hey, we rocking and rolling. If you're joining us for the first time, you're in the place to be. A lot of you guys are finishing up the football season. This is where you can get your football fix. Locker room show. So Coach Wood, you got Coach Adhir, you got the guru right there. So let's get on to the next topic. And I definitely wanted to cover this with you, Coach, because whether it was when you were a player at San Diego under Harbaugh, which many people don't know, or whether it's your days at MA, Menlo Atherton, championships aren't new to you. You got the sauce. People are quickly figuring out that this gentleman knows what he's doing. So I wanted to ask you, Coach, when you sit back and you look at some of the key ingredients that are involved in a championship, like talent, like leadership, like coaching, a little bit of luck, some resilience. When you look at this table right here, can you rank the following five for me? What's Coach Adhir's order when you look at the ingredients for a championship?
Yeah, I think number one is leadership. And like it's interesting because I think leadership ties into coaching also, but I think like, our team this year is such a great example of like our seniors and we had five captains. Mike Mitchell, Skylar Tiatia, Sinai Thomas, Michael Longy, Tommy Tofi, that were unbelievable leaders. But our senior class as a whole, like when you have that level of leadership, like they really were an extension of me. And I really think that's the first piece because I think leadership sets the standard, leadership sets the culture. And I think like
Yeah.
that's definitely to me like the first thing. Um, the second thing I think is resilience. Like you got to have a really mentally tough, physically tough, really determined, focused, standard setting team. And like I look at what our teams had to deal with personally and collectively, and like I think that level of resilience like really spoke to like their growth and the type of kids that they are. The third thing I'll say is talent. I think you got to have talent. You have to have a certain baseline level of talent to really have a championship caliber team. I don't care how hard you work. I don't care how great your culture and leadership is. Like and I think talent, like sometimes people get that as like, oh, I have to be like a Division I player. And I think like, don't get me wrong, like we have those on our team, but like there's a lot of kids that are just really, really, really good high school football players that are maybe an inch or two too short, or a tenth of a second too slow in their 40, but like they got
Yes,
all the other
indeed.
ingredients that it takes, and like that to me is still talent, right? Um, the fourth thing I think is definitely coaching, because I put talent above coaching because like good talent can make average coaching look really good. I mean, there's times our guys make me look good, right? Like I freely say that, and I think like that's a testament to like their leadership, the resilience, and believing in themselves and believing in their talent. And I think there is a level of coaching that sets a standard. There's a level of coaching that sets the development. And the last piece, I hate putting luck last because I do think you need to have luck, but like I think sometimes like with the right preparation, the right group of kids, like you can create your own luck a little bit. And that I think is something that like, there's injury luck, there's turnover luck, there's just, the way the ball bounces sometimes in a game. But, looking at those things, like all five
What
of
you
those can
didn't
be,
get last year. You were saying you didn't
yeah.
get the luck last year. Yeah.
Yeah, we had a lot of injuries, turnovers that were, just like a ball bounces a weird way. And, this year I definitely think like we were able to flip that. And, like I said, I think you can create your own luck a little bit through like your preparation and your work and all those things.
I love it. I love it. Guru, I mean, I know that you won a championship in St. Louis. So coach is going leadership, resilience, talent, coaching, and luck. And there's some cocky coaches around the country that might be saying, hey, coaching needs to be number one. But coach is going leadership, resilience, talent, coaching, and luck. Guru, you won a championship in St. Louis. How would you order these?
Man, I mean, those are the key ingredients, man. I mean, I would say coaching is always going to be at the top, man. I mean, you can have mediocre talent and a great coach and still, be able to do a lot of damage as far as being successful.
Okay.
Leadership, your seniors are always going to have to step forward. Without that, man, it's going to be very difficult. Obviously, even if you are a good coach, you have to have your seniors, to be able to, it's their team. It's their team. And like Coach said, for some kids, man, this is it. So they need to, step forward and make sure that everyone is on point. Resilience is going to be, especially you all have heard me talk a lot in the last couple of months. And what have I been talking about? I've been talking about the playoffs. That's where resilience comes in big time, because it's like, man, all the suckers are weeded out, and it's nothing but pure dogs, man, in the fight all the way to get in the state, right? So being resilient, a lot of your killers are going to have to fight through injuries. People are banged up. So that's his football. That's what it is, and that's what it's going to take to get yourself that trophy, man. And then as far as luck, man, I don't even know. I mean, luck, that is huge. I mean, I know myself, even when we won, in the 90s, man, in my school, Hazelwood East, back in St. Louis, I mean, we had the last play in the semifinals to go to state was first and goal. First and goal, and our D line got 4 straight stops on the 1 yard line. Four
Wow.
straight. No. Check that. 4 straight stops. And their running back, Melville High School's running back, Jason Eberhardt, is 6'3", 240, that was going to be going to Illinois.
They gave it to him 4 times straight?
4 times.
Wow.
4 times. And stuffed them 4 times. So I've seen, no. And then the game before that, and Cortland, my bad, I hate to bring this up. You my guy. The game before that, the Ohio State's, one of their best receivers ever, Reggie Germany out of Hazelwood East, he catches a Hail Mary with no seconds on the clock the game before that. So when you're talking luck, I've seen that 10 times over, man, on the road to go in the state.
All right. So, hey, right there, you guys have it. These are 2 people that have won state championships. I won a Big 12 championship. I never even got to go to the playoffs. I'm still hurt about that in high school. But you got their order right here. So you got Coach Adhir. He's saying leadership, resilience, talent, coaching, and luck. They both had luck at the end. And then you got the Guru saying coaching, leadership, talent, resilience, and luck. So they both had luck at the bottom, but they both acknowledge that you better have a little luck if you do want to win. So right there, you guys, there's the ingredients. I see Chris Moreno talking about great Crusaders and people that have affected my life. What's going on? One of the most amazing seasons ever. Yes, indeed. People are coming in here. Excellent run, coach. People are loving you, coach. Victoria Jones, as always, my mother-in-law who loves football, saying great show. Mark Rosillo, another Crusader, saying you did such a wonderful job this year, coach, leading these young men. You represent the best of us. We couldn't be prouder. Wow, that's amazing right there, Mark. So, hey, special season. And obviously, you guys see special man that we're talking to right here. Talking about special and not in the right way, we are going on to our next topic, you guys. And this is a hot topic, not just in sports. This is like Scandal Central. Even the wives want to get in on this one. And Sharon Moore, Little Sharon. He dropped the ball, Q. I mean, many people want to coach at Michigan that will never have the chance to coach at Michigan. For those that don't know, he got the keys to the job, one of the biggest jobs in sports, and they fired him. They fired him because of inappropriate relations. There's more coming out about this story every single hour. But currently, he's either in a jail cell or just got out of a jail cell. So I want to always bring it back to practicality, Guru. Why do coaches and athletes who work so hard to get to this point fumble it all so quickly?
Man, unfortunately, man, you can go all the way back to the Bible. I mean, you got to think about it, man. Samson didn't cut his own hair, so when it comes sometimes in regards, man, to just making mistakes, man, with females, man, it's unfortunate, but it's not the first time we've seen it. I mean, how many times have we seen it and we'll continue to, man? It's just my whole thing is the fact that it's a coach of color, man. I just got to keep it all the way real with you. And it's the fact that when will Michigan, in the history of this program going forward, hire a coach of color after this? Like, he could be it. That's what bothers the guru, man. That's what bothers me, is because you were at the wheel of a blue blood school, legendary program. Like, what, man, you gotta just shake your head, man. I mean, we not talking about like the Citadel, dude. We talking Michigan, man. You know?
Mm.
So that hurts. It hurts on multiple levels. And I get it, man. Like, the man is human, but it's one of those things where sometimes, man, when you're in a particular position, you have to go that extra mile to, whether to isolate yourself, protect yourself, whatever the case may be. Um, but damn, dude, like, opportunities like this are literally a once in a lifetime opportunity. Now, for all we know, this man might get a coordinator opportunity, man. But other than that, man, he'll be a position coach the rest of his career. At least if you're talking D1. If he drops down, maybe not. But as far as Power Five, you might be a position coach, and that's it. That's a long way
Wow.
down, baby. That's a long
Wow.
fall down.
Coach Adhir, I mean, obviously you sit in a seat of power, and granted it's a lower level, but there's people that want to come and rub your back. There's people that want to get around you. There's situations, you would be a great coach at Michigan. Obviously, I don't know if that's ever your goal, but if you ever got the keys to Michigan, do you think you would fall into this type of trap?
I take the paycheck, that's for sure. But I think, kind of following up a little bit on what Guru was saying, like, I just think ego is a thing, man. Like, you just see this. I mean, this isn't even a football thing. This is just anytime people get money, anytime people get put in a position of power, like, they think they're untouchable because their ego makes them think that,
Mm, man.
they did it. It was all them. They deserve this, which means they deserve anything that comes their way. And, I think, like, the biggest thing is just, like, being strong in your faith, sticking true to your values, and having your core inner circle of people that, like, you trust in and believe in. And in this case, that's your wife, that's your family, that's your close friends, the people that keep you grounded. And I think, like, those are the things that I think people lose sight of, because it's great being told how great you are. It's great being told how, you've done this, you've done that, how you deserve this, and getting that type of, and he's a young guy, right? Like,
Yeah.
he came by Reardon recruiting. And so, like, I mean, he may only be a few years older than me. So, like, he got this opportunity at a really young age. And, it's a really shame to see, because just, there's obviously, I don't know what all the details are right now, but, like, sounds like there was a mental health episode. There's his wife and his children that are obviously affected by this. And there's another young woman's career who's affected by this. So it's just a heartbreaking situation to see. But in the end, it's poor decisions that are led by, in the end, ego. a lot of times, right?
Let me ask you this, Coach, because we're going to get into some of the kids you're about to send off to college. And do you think it's more of the man being a little flawed, and this was kind of going to happen anyway, or do you think it was someone really pursuing him and he just had a weak moment?
Oh, I don't know. I'm not qualified to answer that question.
Yeah, yeah,
I don't know the circumstance, but I think that's where, like, if it is someone pursuing you, like, again, like, being strong in who you are, your values, like, your faith in God, your faith in, the relationship you have with your wife and your children. And, if it is who he is, then it's also one of those things where it's like, you got to ask yourself the position you're putting yourself in, being the head coach at Michigan. And if that's the case, then there's, you got to look at Michigan too and be like, hey, like, did you do your job vetting this, or was he someone that was in the building that had success as an interim coach when Harbaugh was out, and you felt like the need to do this versus was he the right person for the job? I think looking back on it, maybe he wasn't, but I think in the end, it's like, again, I think surrounding yourself by the right people and having the right foundation and who you are as a person and the people around you and the relationships you have, that'll guide you to, make the right decisions.
Do you think, are you like Q, that he's probably not going to be a FBS head coach? Is that a little tough after something like this?
I would say, there's a lot of guys out there that have done some things that have come back to be head coaches or be coordinators and stuff. I think just the fact that there's, the police aspect of it now.
That's
That's
what
pretty
I was
hard.
saying, Coach.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I don't.
that's what I was saying, man. Like, nah, man, you'll be a position coach possibly, but man, a head coach, I don't see it, man, because this is too much of a black eye, man. It's not worth it. I mean, I don't care what the school is, man. If it's Power Five for sure, dude, that's way too much heat, man, to take him on in any
It's a
facet of
big
a head coach.
risk because
That's way too
if it
much.
doesn't work out, then it's like, hey, this didn't work out before.
Yeah, man. Like think about yourself as an AD in another Power Five school, and you're about to bring him in as a head coach. Man, like I said, maybe even a coordinator. Let's say even a coordinator. An AD,
Well,
man, you have any idea how much alumni would be after an AD bringing this dude in as a coordinator? Even? Nah.
yeah, he's got to work his way back up. And, for those that don't know, we do have a new segment now. It's the Weekday Huddle with Coach. We cover this, and it's Are you ready for the blessing? Are you ready for he got a huge blessing,
Yeah.
that nobody else that looks like him has had. And he wasn't ready, So this affects a lot of people, and behind the scenes, they may not say it, but they are going to probably talk a little bit more in depth when they think about hiring another brother, if they ever do, or anybody of color. Coach Adhir is Indian, and they're going to do a little bit more thorough scrub next time. So, and we see some people coming in. The great Rodney Glover. Speaking of a Crusader superstar, great job, Coach. Love what you did this season, man. Everybody was watching you this year, Coach. And Coach Foss is coming in saying he went FBI mode. Check the IG account, and he's following OnlyFans and accounts and everything. So this guy was just like Coach said, he thought he'd never get caught, I guess. I don't know. But we're moving on from Sharon, and hopefully he can find himself, God, and keep things right with his family. Moving on to better topics. We're moving on to people that are going to keep their money. And that's these young athletes that Coach Adhir has been working with. He has been getting these kids to Archbishop Riordan High School in the city. They have never been so powerful. We're talking about, you guys, 11th in the state of California, one of the bell cow states. And Riordan has never sniffed that type of ranking, and Coach Adhir has made that something that's going to be ongoing and concrete. Hopefully, we might have to pay Coach Adhir, give Coach Adhir some NIL to keep him around. But some dogs, Coach. Some dogs in the stable up there at Riordan. And I want to ask you, because obviously the NIL dynamic is new. You were a football player, D1. You didn't get any extra money in your pocket. What surprised you the most about NIL? And what tip would you give to a parent that might have a 4 or 5 star that's in their refrigerator right now?
I think maybe the numbers were a little surprising at first. I think like everyone knows there's a lot of money in college football though. I think the thing that surprised me is just how much it's like the wild, wild west and how unregulated it is in any shape or form. I mean, you have, street agents that are hitting up all these families saying, "Hey, we'll negotiate the deals for you. You give us a 10% cut." You got these guys are taking over their recruiting.
Wow.
I think just it's a lot for families that don't know that it comes up on them really quickly. And I think it's a lot for the kids and like I mean you're talking like some big money numbers for kids that like trying to rationalize and understand what that is, and they don't understand that you got to pay taxes on it if you invest
They
it, what
haven't
that
even
can
had a
be 10
paper
15
route.
years. And now it's all of a sudden you're talking about here's 250K a year, here's $1 million a year. I think it was the Michigan quarterback I think is getting like 3 or 4 million a year or something like that, right? So
Yeah.
that's I think like the thing that surprised me the most is that you would think with that level of money involved, there would be more processes in place from the NCAA and also from the schools in terms of like helping kids and families understand how to make these decisions, manage the money. And that part I think is the part that's been most surprising and frankly a little concerning. I think
So
we have some really good things in
did you
place.
have athletes coming to you and saying, "Hey, we don't know anything about this"? Like I mean, this was all a shock to them probably too.
Yeah, I mean, I was kind of in this interesting space of I had so many kids from my time at MA and CSM that were at the 4 year level as NIL was starting. So they're calling me while in school, being like, "Hey, coach, like, can you look at this NIL contract? Does this make sense? Do these numbers make sense?" Um, and this is where me working in tech and kind of having a business background helps is that like, I can kind of look at some of these contracts. I have someone that I can refer contracts to that will look at them. I had the ability to be able to kind of understand what the market looks like, be able to negotiate on their behalf in a way that's not threatening to schools. It's kind of like, hey, like, I can speak on behalf of the kid and also make sure that it's not an adverse relationship with the
Crazy.
school in any way. Um, and so that kind of helped me transition as it started happening then with the recruits. It's like I already gone through this cycle with the guys who were in college to now the kids that were getting recruited. And I think like that's something where like a lot of our families, we try to educate them as best we can. Some of them do choose to work with representation, in which case like we try to recommend people or make sure that we have a conversation with them. Otherwise it's like, you kind of have an open resource with me to be able to do that, which I think is a little bit unique. But it's a lot. Like, I mean, there's kids and parents that are kind of coming, they're going like, "Hey, like, I don't even understand the recruiting process." Now they're talking numbers and money at me and payment schedules and, here's a contract. And, oh, by the way, like they're pressing for us to make a commitment decision early. And like, it's intense. It can be a lot for the kids and for their families. And then, you also have the side of then parents and kids start to hear numbers in the media or on social media or even talking sometimes to other kids, and it's like, yeah, that's not what everyone gets, right? Like that there is a like I think the hardest part for parents to understand right now is
Market value.
it's all about market value and it's all about value creation. And so like if you
Right.
are a 5-star recruit, yeah, you might get paid X amount of money, or you're a high profile recruit where like they project you to be an immediate contributor or a high level starter or something where it's like, yeah, they're going to pay upfront money to get you to commit and come to the school. There's other schools or other kids where it's like, hey, like you need to go somewhere and create value for yourself, whether it's that school
Mm,
and doing that early in your career to where they pay you to stay. It's almost like player retention at that standpoint. Or it's maybe I go to a smaller school or I go somewhere where I can play early and I put it on tape so then I can create that value for me to be able to get that bigger deal when I'm a junior and a senior. And it's crazy. I mean, you hear Big Sky and Mountain West schools all the time now. They're like, yeah, like part of our like recruiting pitch is like come here, play early, play for 2 years, and we'll help you transfer out of here. Right. Like that's crazy to think about. Like
yeah.
imagine like, back I know I'm trying to think back in the day, but it's like, San Jose State showed up at Riordan to come talk to you, or grew like, Northern Illinois came to St. Louis to come talk to you and was like, yeah, just come to our school and ball out for 2 years and we'll help you transfer to the SEC and get that like big 6-figure contract. Like that's kind of
That's
crazy to think
crazy.
about, but
Yeah.
that's
That
really
it
where we
is.
are. Right.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
Guru,
essentially.
talk to me. You think kids at your alma mater right now are ready for a six-figure check, $1 million check?
No, man, just like most kids are, man. I've said this before, man. A lot of times when you talk NIL, the parents are the problem. The parents are the ones that are, it's so many kids out here so many parents out here trying to live vicariously through their kids already. Now you're adding money into the mix, it's just making things worse. And when you already have, when you know you have a 4 or 5 star kid and you already know that even it's a possibility, we said this, man, a while ago. You need, man, like sit your kid down and get them in front of a financial advisor. Go to your local bank and let them have a conversation with, what, hey, man, this is a local banker, this is Steve or whatever, and have conversations in regards to money and investing and how to be able to protect your money. So these kids at least have some type of idea. But it's like a lot of these parents are already looking at the chops, trying to see what car they're gonna buy or how they're gonna upgrade their home or whatever. And that's to me, that's a lot of the problem, man. It's the parents even more so than the kids. A lot of times, man, the kids like they'll hear numbers and it's like, okay, fine, but they really just want to play ball. It's the parents that really are tripping off the money like that.
Good point. Yeah. Especially if they come from humble beginnings, things might
Yeah,
be a little
absolutely.
tight. Yeah.
Yeah.
So no, and I mean, you guys are listening, whether you're watching this live or you're listening to the recording, this is real life. Coach got approached by people that wanted to give his kids a lot of money. And some of them are sharks and some of them are right, but you guys have to weigh these things out. You have to get support. You have to seek guidance. So I appreciate you sharing that, Coach. And, the Riordan kids are lucky. They're going to a parochial school. They're going to a school where their coach has tech background, business background. Not all the coaches have that. Some of these kids are going to schools where coaches are looking for money too. So you guys got to be wise. You guys got to be smart because this is your time and the money is real. The money is real, baby. So we are
Right.
getting on to our next topic, you guys, and Rodney Glover coming in, somebody who would have got paid. Hall of Famer, Riordan quarterback, went on to Hawaii. How can football be fun when there is so much money involved? Good point. It becomes pro, as you know, very early, Rodney. So, yeah, that's a good point. They would have been throwing a bag at your feet, too. On to the next topic, and we'll start with you on this one, Guru. There's a lot of coaching changes, as we've been talking about. And, I want to throw it to you from the assistant coaching standpoint. Let's say Guru's an assistant and you're going up from high school to Division I level. You're going up from JC, you're the hot thing in JC. You're going up to Division I level. Young hot coach calls you up, says, come join my staff, Guru. What type of coach is the right coach for a young coach to hitch his wagon to, Guru?
Man, I'm looking, past history, man, of do you actually know how to win? I mean, man, again, I go back to a lot of things I've said in the past. I look at coaching trees. Off of what coaching tree are you? When you start working backwards, man, and you look at Saban, look at what coaching tree he's from. That's why he is what he is. So that's what I be looking like. That's great. I appreciate the opportunity. But I want to know your road on how you got to where you're at, man. What coaching tree do you branch off of? Because I know your roots. I know why you coach. I know your why you coach the way that you do. Your recruiting methods. Every coach does things differently. But when you start looking at a lot of the great coaches, when you start working backward, if you do your history, a lot of the guys are off the same freaking coaching tree. Parcells,
Relationship.
all of them. When you start working down all the way to the college ranks, you be like, man, Coach Snyder, Barry Alvarez, I can keep going. A lot of those guys, same freaking coaching tree.
Okay, all right. So coach is saying who's winning. You're a young coach listening to this, and I see Coach Foss on here. I know his son's coming up through the ranks. You're a young coach listening to this. Guru says, hey, go with the coach that's winning. Go with the coach that's winning. Don't go with the coach that's losing because you're probably going to be able to move up with them. Talk to me a little bit, Coach Adhir. I mean, let's go from the high school standpoint, Coach Adhir. You hitched your wagon with Riordan after winning championships at MA. what should maybe a young high school coach look for if he's deciding which high school to hitch his wagon to?
I think the first thing is just like, is it a program where like ultimately like culture and the standards and everything are set by the head coach? So like, is it a program where you watch them play and you say, hey, and you know, you do your like kind of background into a program? Like, is it a program where there's a strong culture, the head coach has a track record of winning, of development? Like ultimately, like you want to be able to come in and be able to learn, grow, and develop, and you're going to do that. Like kind of what Guru was saying, like coaching tree is sort of like a higher viewpoint of it. I think in high school it's a little narrower of like, is this somebody
I don't want to go assistant for this. I want head coach. I want your mindset when you were looking to get back into it and you knew you were going to be a head coach.
Yeah. Okay. So what am I looking for in a school? A little different. Okay.
Yes.
Yeah. I think the biggest thing one is there like administrative support? Like, do they have, and I think a lot of times people just view that as like, is it financial support? Is it like they're all about athletics? And really, I think it just comes down to like, you know, are they invested in wanting to create the best experience possible for the kids on and off the field? Right. And for me, like, I felt like Riordan really fit my values in terms of like, we always talk about like a team built to win, men built for life. Like that's kind of like our vision for our program. And like Riordan really fit that in terms of like, we wanted to build a championship caliber team, but we wanted to make sure that we're doing it the right way within the culture of the school and building them to be great young men and be Riordan men, as we always talk about. And so I think that's the first thing, is just like, if you don't have the administrative support and administrative buy-in and the administration alignment and like your vision, and there's no like kind of consistency in that from their perspective and your perspective, then like this thing's never going to get off the ground. I think the second thing is then like, does the school have a culture around athletics? You're gonna have to build one. Like Riordan's a great example. Like we didn't have a culture around football like when I took the job. I mean, we did before, but we had a really strong culture around basketball, which like tells me that like you can do it. Like there is a culture of athletics at the school. So when you have like that administrative like support and alignment, and then you have like the ability to create like culture in your program, like that's where you're going to have success, right? And I think as a coach, it's kind of like, those are the things that I'm really looking for when I'm looking at a job. At MA, we had that, right? CSM, College of San Mateo, the junior college of it, we had that, right? And then Riordan, like those pieces were there, they just hadn't really been brought forward, right? And so I think like that's the number one thing I'll tell any young coach that's going to be a head coach. Don't just take a head coaching job for the sake of being a head coach. Like make sure where you're going is somewhere you can actually be successful. And you have to define what success means for you. And it's not just like, oh, can I go there and win a championship? It's really like all pieces of what you're trying to do with your program to help those kids. Like, do you have the administrative like alignment to do that? Right? Like that is the number one most critical thing I'll tell any young coach.
Wow. No, you guys, this is why I wanted to bring Coach on tonight, because I knew he was going to give some sauce from a few different angles. And I know that there's some young athletes thinking about getting into the coaching game, or maybe you're already in the coaching game. He says you need that buy-in. You can go to a sinking ship if you don't have the buy-in. So I appreciate you sharing that, Coach. That's why he has success wherever he goes. He's already thinking about that. So I appreciate that, Coach. We're on to our next topic. You guys ripping and running with the great Coach Adhir and the lightning round. Coach has been through the lightning round before, and I think he did pretty well. So we're going to see how he does tonight, you guys. If you're joining us for the first time, the lightning round is our version of word association. Guru wasn't with us last week, so if the contestant last week would have won, Guru, it would have been on you. The dinner would have been on you. But tonight, we're going to split it. So that's what we do. We got a dinner on the lightning round. If Coach can get to 15 or more, and he's got a dinner on Guru and I, a nice Christmas holiday dinner. So let's rock and roll. He's got 60 seconds. He's got 60 seconds to get through as many of my questions as he possibly can. So Coach Adhir is going to tell us the first thing that comes to his mind when I say so either or where I mention somebody's name. He's going to tell us the first thing that comes to his mind. So, all right, Coach, you ready to rock and roll?
Let's do it.
All right, the lightning round, baby. I already see somebody coming in the chat talking mess probably. So the lightning round, he's got to get to 15. All right, he gets one for tech delay since we're in different places. So 14 puts in the mix. And this is all over once the bowl game's in. So we're naming our champion when the bowl game's in. Right now, Alan Ortiz, wide receiver, New Mexico State, is tied with Coach Clyde Logan for 15. All right, let's rock and roll. We got Coach at zeros. I'm clapping for my Riordan guy. All right, Coach. Number one, first thing that comes to your mind. Don't elaborate, Coach. Just rock and roll with me. All right, number one, Troy Franklin. Go.
Generational.
Almonds or peanuts?
Almonds.
The WCAL.
Gauntlet.
John Beam.
Legend.
2 mile jog or 2 mile hike?
Oh, 2 mile jog.
Sinai Thomas.
Explosive.
The program on any given Sunday?
Any given Sunday.
Tommy Tofi. He's rolling.
Generational.
Kirby Smart, Kirk Signetti.
Ooh, Kirby. Got 2 natties.
The best player you ever coached against. 50 seconds.
Ben Burgervin at Sacred Heart Prep. Ended up going to Washington and NFL.
Fish and chips, chicken tenders or fries? And fries.
Oh, chicken tenders and fries. Yeah, you need to finish that one.
Kareem Stinson.
Oh, a legend.
Time. We'll give it to him. We'll give it to him.
He might have got that one. He might have got
We'll
that
give it to him. He's close. Coach was rolling. I don't know how fast Coach was back in his day, but he was fast tonight. All right. So let's see. Let's see if Coach gets to 15. If I got to go down to San Francisco, take Coach out to lunch. Let's see. All right. 14 puts him in the mix. Number one, Troy Franklin. Denver Broncos wide receiver, former Oregon Duck. He coached that guy. He said generational. Number two, almonds or peanuts. Coach says, give me the almonds. Number three, the WCAL. That's the West Catholic Athletic League, the league he's in. He says gauntlet. Number four, John Beam, legend. Coach, rest in peace. He says legend. Number five, 2 mile jog. Coach, 2 mile hike. He says, give me the jog. Number six, Sinai Thomas, that's his superstar wideout going to Oregon State. He says explosive. Number seven, program or any given Sunday. Coach says, give me Willie Beeman, Steamin' Willie Beeman. Number eight, Tommy Tofi, that's the big offensive lineman, 6'7", going to Oregon. He said generational. Number nine, Kirby Smart or Kirk Signetti, both of these boys in the playoff. He says, give me the OG Kirby, or actually Kurt might be older, but Kirby's been in the game. Number 10, best player you ever coached again. One more time, you said Ben, what was his name?
Is Ben Burkervin. He was at a Sacred Heart Prep and then went to Washington. He was Pac-12 Defensive Player of the Year and then was on the Seahawks. He was he was bad. That was a bad boy right there. Yeah.
All right, you guys. Number 11, fish and chips or chicken tenders. He said, give me the tenders and the fries. Number 12, Kareem Stinson, his old coach in high school. He says legend. So with the tech delay, 13 for Coach. He was so close. He was so close. I think you elaborated. I tried to cut you off on one because you were elaborated, and that was what stopped us, Coach. But great job. And we are on to the Q&A section of the show, rocking with Coach Adhir. So happy to have him on, fresh off of a state run that he was going on and 2 championships, league and regional. If you're with us live, our chat is open. So if you feel like asking Coach Adhir a question, feel free to pop it in the chat section. But Guru, I know you got something for Coach.
Definitely. Coach T and I have talked about this all the time. The question for tonight is, why do you think that as far as like, especially like playoff losses, why do they sting so bad, even more so than college, professional, any other level? Why do those high school playoff losses, why do they sting so bad? I'm talking about like grown men, 30s, 40s, 50s, and they can still remember that game that they lost that they wish they could get back. I know I do, but we all had those.
I'm going through it right now, right? Like we just
Right,
played on Friday, so
right.
I just think there's and I said this to the kids too, like, it's okay to feel that level of pain because it shows that it matters to you. And I think like there's a different level of relationship you have with your teammates and like that brotherhood in the locker room in high school when you
Mhm.
guys all
Yeah,
grow up together that way. That's different than college, it's different than the pros, and that's why I
yeah.
think those ones hurt so much more. And like you end up also kind of like knowing the guys on the other teams in a way that you maybe don't in college at that same
That's true.
scale.
Yeah,
And so I think it's a combination of like who it's against and also just like those relationships you have with the guys you grew up with in those really formative years of your life that are high school. And it's kind of what makes high school ball so special, right? Like, I say this to our kids about coaching or playing, have been played in college and, guys, friends that I've had that played in the NFL or guys that I've coached that are in the NFL now, and they all talk about how high school was the most like special football
for
that they
sure.
ever played.
Yeah,
Like there's just nothing
yeah,
like Friday Night Lights with your boys, right? And I think that's what
yeah.
makes it sting so much is just everything that like is connected into it.
Yeah, no, I agree. I agree. Like, man, I like as far as man, high school, like I went 25-1, and I can remember that one loss, man, more than any other game that we won by far,
Hmm.
by far, dude. So no, it stings, man. It really does. But that makes perfect sense, though.
Yeah, no, guys will be in the NFL talking after the game about games
Yeah,
that they played in
yeah.
high school. We got some people coming into the chat that we definitely know. The great Reggie Grayson, his son played for Coach Adhir, and then his son played against him. Saying how does he do his hair? I hear that. And
Yeah.
then also
Reg, I go to Reg's barber, so we got the same barber.
yeah,
So
and we got to say all three of us. Reg is bald too. All three of us got the same barber. And then he said he got it, man. And he said also great culture. Somebody coming in here right here saying thoughts, coach, on your big tailback, Adonai Brown.
I said this in the papers. Adanye might be single-handedly the most talented football player I've ever had in my entire coaching career, and I got four guys in the
Wow.
NFL. And what
Wow.
makes him so special? And when I say that, like, I really kind of want to explain what I mean by that. Like, there's nothing on a football field that Adanye can't do. Like, he can play quarterback, he can throw the football. He played quarterback growing up for the SF Brown Bombers. Um, he can obviously run the football with power, with speed. He can jump over you. He can run through you. He can catch the ball like a receiver. He can run the full route tree. By the way, he's a really good linebacker. He can kick. He can punt.
Oh, that's
Wow.
okay.
He's
There's
a
nothing on a
junior.
football
Yeah,
field he can't
yeah,
do.
yeah.
And
Literally.
and by the way, he does it at 6 foot, 225 pounds.
Yeah, he's a
And
problem.
so
I was
He's a
that's
I was
problem.
just talking to somebody about him last night. No, he's a beast. I gotta send you the film, Q. You don't
Yeah,
want to tackle
I'll check
this
him out.
kid.
Yeah, he
Yes,
looks
I
like a
think
problem. He looks like an
I
issue.
think I was talking to coach before the game, the Folsom game, and I think I was trying to see if I could find it on my text. I put the running back, coach, give it to the running back
yeah.
because he
Yeah,
is a
yeah,
beast.
That was a big part of our game plan against them was like, hey, we're going to force feed the ball in the run game to really try to stop him up to create those vertical play action shots for Mike and the receivers. And like, um, just like I could talk about him. Like the one thing I will say is just, his mom, Arnika, amazing woman, what she's done raising him. And, he's a San Francisco Fillmore kid who like is just got a huge heart for his teammates, the work he does in the community, mentoring kids. He's just such an amazing kid. And that performance he gave against Sarah for the WCL title, he didn't practice for 3 weeks with a separated shoulder, 2 weeks with a separated shoulder. He
wow.
came back early on a bad shoulder and bad ankle, was cramping during the game, and still ran for almost 300 yards and 3 touchdowns.
Oh,
Like
that's
if
crazy.
you if
In
you
a
want to talk
tough
about,
league, Q.
yeah, and
Yeah,
you want to talk
yeah,
about
that's
heart.
tough, man.
Yeah, and that's he did that against a defense with 5, 6 Division I kids on it. So
Yeah,
um,
yeah,
no, he's a very, very special kid and a very, very special football player. And yeah, I think he's a kid that you're going to see continue to thrive here at Riordan next year, and I'm really excited to see what is next for him at the next level because he's another generational talent. You don't find kids that can do the things he can do on a football field.
yeah.
They
See,
call him
but that's the thing. You got
beast mode, Q.
Yeah,
Beast
yeah.
mode.
I mean, well, man, when you have kids like that, especially like you were just saying, man, it comes back and you know that they're banged up, man. Like how that inspires the rest of the team feeds off of that. He knows he's banged up. Coach, you know he's banged up. Team know he's banged up. But the fact that he's out there, man, and he's still on some man, like give me the ball, like. It's like, man, how do you not, you know what I mean? Like the guys feed off
Ain't
of that,
nothing
man,
wrong.
when you see that, man. You know,
Yeah,
like
yeah,
this man is putting his heart on his sleeve and like man, like give me the ball, man. We gonna win this thing, man. You know, so that's you, man. You have kids like that. Man, it's about to be a hell of a season, man. You
Yeah,
know,
and we had a
yes,
whole group of them this year. Like I mean, I just even think Friday against Folsom in the NorCal championship game. I mean, Judge Nash comes back. He needs shoulder surgery after the season's over, and he's playing on a bad shoulder out there, and he scores 2 touchdowns and goes over
yeah,
100 yards
man.
receiving.
See,
And I think that speaks to what we were talking about at the start, right? Like what made this team so special and why I value leadership and resiliency is like that culture piece will win you football games. Like it
yeah,
really will. And I think this group was a great example of that. Of like they really sold out for one another, and they played so hard for one another. And like I think when you have that, you have something special when you combine talent with that, right?
facts, absolutely, absolutely. Yeah,
amazing,
that is
Coach.
awesome. Definitely be looking
I,
out for him.
I don't want to keep you long, Coach, but can you do maybe one more question? It looks like a lot of questions are coming in. Can you do one
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
or
No, I can do a
two
couple. I can
more?
do a
Okay.
couple. Yeah, we're good.
Okay, we'll do two more questions. And thank you guys for joining us. Please make sure you like, subscribe, and share Coach Adhir. This is why we wanted to have him on. We got another one coming in. This is actually one of our Before You Go Pro athletes. What advice do you have, Coach, for special teams players or long snappers?
Yeah, the
Mm,
biggest thing there is like finding someone who can coach and develop you, right? And like one of the advice that I'll give kids that are kickers, punters, and snappers is like a lot of times your high school coach isn't actually going to be like super qualified at it. I've studied it a little bit, but I'm still like I will openly tell you like I don't work with our kickers, punters, and snappers. Like I work with them in the sense of like I know the basics to make sure that like we're fine tuning those things at practice, but um find someone who can develop you. And I think like one big thing I would say is like reach out to local junior colleges or find a private kicking
Okay.
and snapping coach.
Okay.
One that's going to help you like get such specialized technique that it's going to help you really be able to grow and develop your skill set there. And the second thing is like if you want to get recruited or anything, then the next piece of that is now you have to go get into the special teams like specialist circuit.
hmm.
That is so nuanced, like the Chris Sailors and the Rubio kicking of the world and
Yeah.
stuff. And like, if you have the right coach who can then get you into those camps with a recommendation, now that's how you can go get recruited. Like, people don't scholarship snappers and kickers like that. So you got to find a way to like separate yourself and get that foot in the door. And a lot of times it's not going to come through just, snapping a bunch and working with your high school coach. It's just the reality. It's not. And I mean, I tell our guys like, I try to go get them with the right people to do that. So
Yeah.
Wow.
I
Amazing.
mean,
Yeah, it
T,
is
you
a
remember
nuance.
when we played, boy, the first name that comes to mind is Martine Automatica Grammatica. Like,
Yeah.
great kickers will freaking win you rings, dude. We've seen it 100 times, dude. Like, if you have a
That's
dog kicker and he's good, Lord knows if he's good from 50 and out, man, like,
you're gonna win
because
some
that's
games. I see
oh,
Jelani
for
coming in.
sure, dude. For
What's
sure, for
going
sure.
on,
Especially
boss?
if your offense is struggling that game and having some issues, dude. Like, oh, dude. So yeah, by all means, with coach, run that back if you need to hear that again. But kickers are important for your kickers out
Yes,
there.
indeed.
Please, we have not forgot about you.
And more important at the
Yeah,
high school level.
yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely, absolutely.
Yeah. We're going to finish off with the last question. And of course, it's from a Crusader who used to be a track star, former Cal Bear track runner, Jelani Ho coming in. And he says, should football players run track, coach?
I know Jelani's going to say yes, but no, I absolutely believe they should. Now, here's one thing I will say. Um, Obviously making sure that you have the right track coach, making sure that you're still lifting weights during that time. And I think like making sure that the weight lifting that you're doing is going to help grow you and develop you for football, but also like help you perform in track. The second part to it is a little bit separate. I think more track coaches need to work together. Ultimately,
Mm,
Yeah,
speed kills
okay.
on a football field. And I think having shared vision like when I was at MA, one of the really cool things is like the majority of our football team ran track or through. It was like part of like our off-season program is you went and trained with the track team. So we would
Yeah,
lift weights and we do our workouts, but it's like you get all your sprint training and all your hip explosive movements and everything would all come from track. And we ended up having a bunch of CCS champions that were like the CCS championship 4x1 team were all my skill players.
Wow.
And so I'm a big proponent of, I think like if you're going to do another sport as a football player, you should run track. And like I really think like that's a huge, huge thing that's going to help you be a better football player. And like, you know, even for our kids, like the ones that don't play another sport, all we do is speed train. We speed train and lift weights. Like our whole thing is around functional strength, dynamic movement, and explosive movements, and being as fast as possible. And like we think we do those things,
yeah,
we're going to be a really good football team. Even in season, to be honest, I know it's a little bit off what Jelani was asking, but like part of the reason why I feel like we had such a lift in terms of our play speed and reducing injuries is we fully invested in sprint training in season. So like we basically had the feed the cats methodology in what we use, but like we didn't do heavy gassers. We didn't do 300-yard shuttles. It was all sprint based because our whole thing was how do we
Okay.
replicate what we do in the football game? It's all pure sprinting. You're not running 300s in a football game. What I need you to be
yeah,
able to do is run those sprints 70, 80, 90 times a game, depending on how many snaps you're playing, not, you know, go run a mile. That's not going to help you be a better football player. Well, how do
right.
you double down on that and get better at that? Running track, right? So I'm a huge proponent of it. And I think more kids need to do it and stop specializing. Like,
Yeah.
you don't need to go play in every single 7-on-7 tournament like every weekend, right? Go run
Yeah,
track, go work on your football skills. Like that's going to make you a
yeah,
better football player.
yeah, for sure.
Wow. No, this was perfect. This is exactly what you guys needed to hear as we go into the off season. So much sauce tonight. Whether you're a coach, a player, a parent, trying to figure out NIL, this was the show that you guys needed to have, and we knew that. So, Coach, thank you so much, especially after the long season. Thank you for coming back on the show.
Definitely.
Of course. Now it's always good seeing you guys, and I appreciate you guys having me on. And you know, yeah, definitely a special season, really special group of kids. You know, they really deserve their flowers, so I'm very proud of them. And yeah, go Crusaders! And we're excited to get to work. And you know, we have some titles to defend, so you know, we're gonna get to work in January here on it.
That's
Yes,
what's up,
some,
Coach.
some
Congrats.
titles to defend. I like the sound of that, Coach. That gave me some goosebumps right there. So, hey, we're gonna let Coach Adhir go. Obviously, we appreciate him. He's the best. So, hey, if you guys haven't checked out Reardon High and what they're doing, go check them out. If you got a kid that's looking where they need to go, they're in the Bay Area. You might want to go holler at Coach Adhir. All right. So, hey, Q, we had him on again, man. They had a
Yeah,
hell of a
man.
season, and they cranking them out, man. I can't say the
Yeah,
number. I can't say the number because Coach Adhir would kick me out the family circle. But a lot of money, man. Real
yeah,
dollars,
man.
more than
Yeah,
I'm making for these
yeah. Hey, man.
kids.
Look, hey, man. He's a great coach, man, and well deserved to those kids, man. And he's going to, and that's the thing, especially on the high school level. Man, success begets success, you know. So I mean, man, he's got a championship. He's cranking out kids, and more killers are gonna come. You know, for that reason, man. Like, hey, I wanna be a part of that, man. So that's how you build. That's how you build a legendary program, man.
Amen.
Coach knows how to win, and then he's constantly getting more and more and more talent that are buying in year after year after year, man. So no, it's the same way Coach Bean did. It's no different. It's no different, man.
It's a formula. Yep, yep.
It
And I
is.
see some people coming in, and Jelani says, perfect. Love you, brother. And then, of course, Rodney says, yes, sir. Thank you guys for coming in. Don't give away too much secret sauce, Coach. My wife said, yeah, we're keeping it for us because there may be some people listening. But no, this was a great show. We're getting closer to Christmas, y'all. So, a matter of fact, let me see. Oh, we got one more show. We got one more show next week.
Yep.
And then Guru and I are going to take 3 weeks off. So we're going to be away for a little while, enjoying our eggnog. I'm going to tell you what's in it, but we're taking some time. So, Guru, anything for the good people before we get out of here?
Hey man, look, it's been a heck of a season, and man, hey, interested to see how these college football playoffs are going to gonna end up, man, and see who's the last man standing. I think we might be surprised, but man, it's time to get ugly now, man. So I'm anxious to
Yeah.
see how that pans out.
It's legendary time. Some people gonna turn into legends, and
Yeah,
hopefully, maybe that's some of you guys that watch the show. But make sure you come back next Thursday. Next Thursday, I'm not gonna tell you who we got, but it's in line with that NIL talk. It's in line with that NIL talk. So you guys don't miss next Thursday. Make sure that you like, subscribe, and share. If you didn't know, we're doing weekday huddle. That comes to you every single day, Monday through Friday, 10 a.m. Pacific. We're covering some great topics, 1 p.m. Eastern. If you also didn't know, we help kids get to college, just like Adhir. So check out Before You Go Pro. Make sure that you get your resources. Make sure you get your football fix so that you guys can be gamed up, so that you guys can be savvy and get to the next level. And then, of course, check out NILLLC.org, NILLLC.org. If you get to the point where the contract's already on the table and you don't know anything, it's too late. It's too late.
yeah,
So let's get to
man.
that now. Let's get to that education now. Let me see right here. Let me get a glass of that. I hear you. Yeah, we got to get together, brother. We're going to get together. And then, of course, the great Rodney Glover says, great job, fellas. So, all right, we're letting you go.
Appreciate you.
We'll see you next week. Have a good one.